And we have a guest on our #1 air hot seat here in Las Vegas at Radio Row, a Longhorn, All-Southwest Conference linebacker, 1990. He grew up in Lubbock and played 6 seasons of professional football. Then he became a broadcaster and has a distinguished career. You mostly see him on CBS. It's Brian Jones here with you on 105.3 The Fan. How the heck are you?
I am great, and that's L.A., Lubbock area.
Okay.
Sounds more metropolitan.
Okay. Lubbock area. I love it.
I've lived in both L.A.'s, Lubbock area, and Los Angeles. Yes.
There's so many ways we could take a conversation with you, and I'm so.
I think we left all of it off air. The conversation we were just having.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I was like, stop asking me questions, man. Say that for the air.
What was it like being recruited in the Southwest Conference in the late '80s?
Oh. Wild West. It was crazy. It was nuts. I mean, you guys know Texas, and football's religion, and I grew up during the Friday Night Lights era. So Odessa Permian, that was all the rage. They're in West Texas, and anytime they would come and play at Tech, we'd all flock there to watch Permian play. And they actually used to call their conference, their district, the Little Southwest Conference. And that's how competitive it was. It was crazy. It was the mad world, similar to what we're experiencing with NIL today in the transfer portal, all the money that's being bantied about, and reason why we decided to develop our portal, edge3.ai, along with IBM and their Watson X technology, which is powering our engine, is because we wanted to aggregate all this information, help the athletes and the coaches during this time where there's a lot of risk involved in recruiting, much more than there was when I was growing up, because all the money that's now involved in the game. And I liken it to politics. You're always campaigning in politics today. It's the same as a coach. You're always recruiting, because when you're not recruiting on the road, you're recruiting your own roster in your own locker room. And so how do we make better informed decisions as an athlete as far as picking the ideal program, and as a coach as far as recruiting the ideal kid who won't think about transferring because he did his homework, he did his due diligence, he sifted through all these data points to come out with a better idea of where I should go. If I'm 5'4", 160, probably not going to recruit you to the University of Texas at running back. I'm just sorry. Now, I don't want to douse your hopes and your dreams, but let's take a look in that position room. Let's see who's there that fits your profile. And we have the comparative analysis along with the predictive analytics that IBM Watson X brings to the forefront. So it's a great partnership for us, and it's something we've been working on for almost 4 years. Myself and Kenyon Rashid, who's also a former NFL player and unfortunately went to that god-awful University of Oklahoma. He and I, this thing has gone through so many iterations, and to be here today and to be able to announce our partnership with IBM Watson X is just vainglorious, and we appreciate all they do, Big Blue, having been in business for over 100 years, and all the transformation they're involved in other categories now to have another tentacle in sports. They're already associated with the Masters Golf Tournament. You've got Wimbledon. Their predictive analytics is used at the U.S. Open, and now they want to assist in helping these athletes and these coaches mitigate their risk in the recruiting process.
Hey, you get IBM involved, you must be doing something right. As Brian Jones is here with us, college football analyst, and it's Edge 3 Athlete Intelligence with you here on 105.3 The Fan.
Brian, how surprised were you that Nick Saban left football?
Not surprised. I know it was earth-shattering to the college football world. Not surprised. Man, it is tough, and he has come out and said it had nothing to do with the current landscape with NIL and everything we've been discussing as far as recruiting. You're having to re-recruit your locker room. It's similar to as a player, man. At some point, it becomes increasingly more difficult to produce. And the way he goes about coaching or went about coaching, the intensity that he brings to bear, that's hard. That's hard to sustain, especially at his age. And he looks great. He's in good shape, no health issues. But still, the way he wants to go at it, he himself spoke to the fact that it had become more difficult to muster up that energy So good for him to recognize that. We as athletes, we try to hang on as long as we can, and sometimes the wise ones say, hey, my body, I can't do it anymore, and they call their own shots and say, I'm done. Some of us are a little bit more hard-headed and said, no, I'm going to keep going until I look like a fool, and they embarrass me on the field, and then the game just said, hey, get out of here. It spits you out. So I wasn't surprised, but still it's going to leave a big void because he is the GOAT for a reason. I believe he should be the first czar of college football or commissioner of college football.
Wow.
I believe he could bring all the disparate parties together, and we could somehow erect some guardrails and make this more equitable for all parties involved.
We like the idea of Coach Saban doing his own version of bar rescue, but for college programs. Stop him for a week or two, just shape him up, get him in gear, and then, all right, well, on to the next one.
Restaurant Impossible, huh?
Yes. College football impossible. What do you think? I know we've talked to NIL, but we talk a lot about the transfer portal as well. And it's almost like now you get a kid in your program, I got to recruit him to stay at the program. What do you think about the transfer portal and how that's also changed the game?
Another reason we developed Edge3.ai is because we were inundated with these questions from friends, from family members, people who have been thrust now into this college recruiting space and having no idea how to navigate, no idea what questions to ask those recruiters. And so how do I sift through all this information? Because there's a ton of information out there. You have media companies that have their rankings, and not all rankings are cut from the same cloth. So how do I navigate through all this information and make a informed decision? And especially with that recruiting, the transfer portal. I transferred, but I transferred for different reasons. Now, I took a pay cut when I left UCLA. The statute of limitations are over, so I can say that. Because the Southwest Conference had imploded. So when I came back to the Southwest Conference, it wasn't such as its former life. That's the big risk now for recruiters. So on the flip side, we want to help the athlete, we want to help the coaches as well. How do I make sure I have all the information in-house to go out and recruit this guy? And if there's some NIL dollars involved, how do I ensure that they're going to the right guy? He fits into our scheme, our concepts. And so we want them to go to the site and go through all these data sets and make sure that kid is perfect for me and my coaching style. That's another part of this, another metric we don't always factor in. Yeah, we see that they're on TV. Yeah, they're winning bowl games. Yeah, they do this and that. But is that coaching style a fit for me and my temperament? If I'm a shy kid, I don't think Nick Saban yelling at me, dog cussing me on the sidelines is going to work, because I probably will go into my shell. And so you've got to determine variables such as that. Will that work? And so as far as that transfer portal, man, there's a lot of money associated with that. There's a lot of money that's dumped into recruiting, even more so today. So you got to make as much as you can, make the right decision from the outset. And that's what we're hoping to do with Edge3.ai, IBM Watson X.
Brian Jones, college football analyst. It was great to finally meet you after seeing you and hearing you all these years, and best of luck to you, man. This is a tremendous service.
Thank you. Likewise, great to be with you guys and enjoyed hearing about the old stories. Can we talk about the Aggies and how they used to cheat so much?
Man, we couldn't catch up with
the beans.
That's the problem. We had to cheat hard just to catch up with you.
He told me what his dad used to do at A&M.
Yeah, how about that?
How about that money
Bag man.
I am proud about that, man.
You were proud?
You could be a bootlegger's son or a bag man. I'll do both. Either one.
I'll do both.
Either one.
I'll take the bag man.
It's pretty cool.
You could probably you can elongate your life being the bag man.
There you go. There you go.
The bootlegger's son.
I'll tell you what, there was a big day.
Jimmy's giving us the deal, buddy. I think
Hey,
we got another
you're
round
a
to get
beast.
to.
We got to talk more college football with you soon
Let's
in the
do
future.
it.
We'll be
Thank you,
looking
sir.
for you.
Holla.
Yeah,
Thank
come
you
back
very
on.
much.
Thank you, guys.
We need to ask about